char-grilled chicken Caesar salad.
I should also have a pirate pack to go.
Come to White Spot for something irresistibly different.
This is CBC Television, Canada's own.
From CBC News, Canada Now.
I'm Ian Hannah-Mansing. The weapons report. Iraq is cooperating.
UNMOVIC has not found any such weapons.
The battle at the UN.
Are they serious? Are they going to disarm?
And breaking the ice.
We had cold days and cold nights.
Keeping up with Mother Nature. Winter on the St. Lawrence Seaway.
And I'm Gloria Makarenko. An accused hit-and-run driver denied bail.
He's being held in inhuman conditions.
I'm happy he's not out there doing this to somebody else. You know, it's just great.
And Memorial March. Remembering lost loved ones on the downtown east side.
Good evening. It's not what Washington wanted to hear. The United Nations Chief Weapons Inspector presented his report to the Security Council today. An update on the arms search in Iraq that suggests Baghdad is cooperating. Reaction was swift, with calls for more time from some countries and a call to arms from the United States. We begin our coverage with Steve Irwin in New York.
There were the obligatory smiles and hearty handshakes diplomacy demands of old allies. But the rift between the world's most powerful countries deepened as the UN's chief weapons inspectors delivered their latest report on Iraq.
I now give the floor to Dr. Hans Blix.
Although Hans Blix said Iraq has still not provided evidence large stockpiles of biological and chemical weapons have been destroyed, he insisted Iraqis are providing greater cooperation than ever.
We have conducted more than 400 inspections covering more than 300 sites. All inspections were performed without notice, and access was almost always provided promptly.
Blix's colleague Mohammed Al-Baradei said the work of inspectors is going well, but to be effective, it must continue. So far, he said, there's no evidence supporting some of the U.S.'s gravest allegations about Iraqi atomic weapons.
We have to date found no evidence of ongoing prohibited nuclear or nuclear-related activities in Iraq.
Most members of the Security Council seized on the inspector's report to urge the U.S. to back down from its war stance and give inspectors more time.
Personne ne peut donc affirmer aujourd'hui que le chemin de la guerre sera plus court.
France's foreign minister agreed that Iraq must not be allowed to have weapons of mass destruction, but that no one can claim the path of war would be faster than the path of inspections. Russia, too, urged the U.S. not to drag much of the world into war and to seek a peaceful way to deal with Iraq. Those appeals moved the UN audience to a rare display of public approval.
What we need is not more inspections.
But U.S. Secretary of State Colin Powell wasn't applauding. He insisted giving more time to inspectors would only give more time to Saddam Hussein to build up his arsenal, and that the UN must now consider military force.
We have not seen the kind of cooperation that was anticipated, expected, and demanded of this body.
Today's presentation by the weapons inspectors may have given new hope to those pushing for a peaceful resolution. They've made it more difficult for the U.S. to argue that military force is the only serious option left. An option sure to be hotly debated next week when the UN Security Council meets again to further discuss the situation unfolding in Iraq. Steve Irwin, CBC News at the United Nations.
Iraqi President Saddam Hussein tried a new tactic today to appease UN inspectors. He issued a decree banning weapons of mass destruction. But as Don Murray reports, many Iraqis are now waiting for a miracle.
In a small mosque in a small town near Baghdad, men came to pray, but first to reflect. They knew their future was in the hands of others. Today in New York, tomorrow in Washington. Their imam, the local religious leader, told them of the blessings of their faith, of the strength it confers. Almost all of them have talked to him of possible war. Today they prayed for peace. And the imam said there would be peace if there was justice in New York. If Blix presents the truth in his report, says Hadil Ismail Al-Hamdan, then war will be averted. If he bows to pressures, then there will be fighting. One man bowing to pressure today was Iraqi President Saddam Hussein. Flanked by senior government leaders, he issued a decree officially banning the production and import of weapons of mass destruction in Iraq. This had been one of the UN inspector's demands.
Good morning, Your Holiness.
Before Blix talked to New York, Iraq sought help in Rome from the Pope. Iraq's ranking Christian, Deputy Premier Tariq Aziz, met John Paul II. Aziz is a member of the Chaldean Catholic Church. The Pope has publicly warned of the dangers of conflict. Later, Aziz said Iraq welcomed the inspector's report and was ready to work even more closely with him to avoid conflict.
We are ready to continue working with the Blix and Baradei, implementing Resolution 1441, and we hope that the truth will appear.
Blix's first report, with its blunt criticism of Baghdad's approach to inspections, startled and stung the Iraqi regime. It promised fuller cooperation. It offered concessions. And today, it got a report much more to its liking, a report it hopes may postpone conflict. But Tariq Aziz said that it would still take a miracle for Iraq to avoid war. Don Murray, CBC News, Baghdad.
In Ottawa, the opposition is again pressing the government for a decision on Canada's role in a possible war. As Julie Van Dusen reports, some Canadians are trying to help the government make up its mind.
About 150 protesters walked through downtown to National Defense Headquarters. They call it the War Department. Bitter, cold temperatures of minus 30 degrees had them huddling together for warmth. A small clutch of protesters sat in front of the building's main door as military police stood watch on the other side. But there was little for the police to do. This was a silent vigil. For the most part, they sat quietly on the frozen ground. They say it's in sharp contrast to the drums of war. This woman says Canadians understand the decision might be a tough one for Jean Chrétien, but she urged him to say no to any American-led coalition.
I know it's very difficult for Canada because we have such close relationships with the States. Our economy is very tied in, but on moral grounds, I do not think we should go.
Following the reports by the United Nations weapons inspectors, the Canadian Alliance was on its feet in the House of Commons, demanding to know what the government plans to do.
Will it stand unequivocally with our allies, the United States, the United Kingdom, Australia, and others, in stating that they have the right to act and that Saddam Hussein will be disarmed?
I know that they've been eager to pull the trigger, but let's at least wait until we have a chance to review the report that Mr. Blix reports to us.
In Montreal, Foreign Affairs Minister Bill Graham said he is hopeful a peaceful resolution is still possible.
I'm confident that we still have time to work it out. Nobody walked away from that table saying, this is over today, it's finished.
Bill Graham says while no one is ready to declare war immediately on Iraq, time is running out for Saddam Hussein. He says the onus is on him to cooperate fully. How much time? Graham says that is very much in the hands of the Security Council. Julie Van Dusen, CBC News, Ottawa.
There were demonstrations in several parts of the world today as people protested against a possible U.S.-led war on Iraq. In Japan, thousands marched through downtown Tokyo, waving banners and chanting slogans. Placards reading "No War on Iraq" were carried by the mostly middle-aged crowd from labor unions and peace groups. Police say about 6,000 people took part. Meanwhile, in Australia, a much larger demonstration, about 150,000 people packed streets in Melbourne to protest against Australia's possible involvement in a war on Iraq. This came as more Australian soldiers left from Sydney, part of a deployment of 2,000 headed for the Persian Gulf. And you may have seen a small peace sign in Vancouver today if you headed south through Stanley Park. The Valentine's Day message was posted high overhead as cars came off the Lions Gate Bridge. It promoted the Peace Rally in Vancouver that begins tomorrow at 12:30 at Canada Place. Other demonstrations are planned for Kamloops and Victoria. The RCMP is questioning two men at an Ontario border crossing after seizing a bag containing what's been reported to be bomb-making equipment, an unidentified white powder, and wire cutters. The men were detained after attempting to cross the border near Niagara Falls this morning. Police say the men, who possessed Pakistani passports, were walking separately from the United States into Canada. Now, the Mounties say they don't know if these men are connected. The RCMP, Canada, Customs, Revenue, Immigration, and the FBI all working together on this case. Hello, Jeannie.
Hi there, Ian.
Let's begin with a story that's making headlines in parts of Atlantic Canada. Offshore energy has helped a lot of the economies out in the east, but today that confidence has been shaken.
And again, it raises the question whether the East Coast is more bust than boom when it comes to natural gas, because Encana Corporation wants to put its Deep Panuke project on hold for now. There were high hopes in the area for the $1.3 billion project, but Encana now says the gas reserves there are, quote, comparatively modest. It wants regulators to hold off on the approval process while it looks for more proof that this field would be worth tapping into.
You know, Encana's drilled 3 or 4 dry wells out there, and a number of other players have also. It's not as simple as I think people would have thought 2 or 3 years ago.
So it's a case of the best laid plans don't always pan out. 2 weeks ago, Shell Canada cut back its estimates of how much gas is in its share of the Sable Island project, the only project that's in actual production right now.
Meanwhile, Jeannie, another automaker, wants help from the government.
From both the federal and provincial governments. Ford Motor Company wants them to chip in for a major plant overhaul. Ford wants to spend more than $1 billion to modernize its huge plant in Oakville to make a flexible facility where several different models can be built. It thinks that $200 million of that should come from Ottawa and Ontario, which are already dealing with Daimler Chrysler. That company wants $300 million to help build a new plant in Windsor. And Toyota and Mitsubishi, meanwhile, are also sniffing around with proposals for new plants. So the questions are, how much help do you give these corporations, if any, what form that help should take, and where does it all stop? The automakers have argued that other countries have snagged new plants and new jobs by offering this kind of help, and that Canada has to step up as well if it's going to keep the industry here alive.
Issues we'll ponder through the weekend. See you Monday, Jeannie.
Okay, bye-bye.
Some same-sex couples from across Canada celebrated Valentine's Day by applying for marriage licenses. Couples from 8 provinces appeared before marriage commissioners to test the legal definition of marriage in this country. Tom Murphy has more.
Angela Barrett and Jennifer Handspiker want the right to marry someday.
We were wondering if we could apply for a marriage license.
I'm sorry. No marriage license.
Okay.
The answer they expected.
They've said in the Charter of Rights and Freedoms that we're equal to other couples, but this just proves that we're not.
The couple were part of a national protest. Gay and lesbian couples demanding legal recognition for same-sex marriages.
If they tell me, you don't have no rights because I'm gay, I'm going to fight it, and I want to know why.
So in St. John's, Toronto, and in Halifax, couples made the same request for same-sex marriage licenses. Everywhere, the answer was the same.
We do not have the authority here.
Really, it's a patchwork across the country.
Rights for gay and lesbian couples vary across Canada. In Manitoba and Nova Scotia, they're recognized as domestic partnerships. In Quebec, it's something called civil union. But even those distinctions mean a same-sex couple still can't get a marriage license. And this lawyer says that can mean legal complications.
Particularly in situations for same-sex couples where family may not be condoning the relationship, and there may be people who are estranged from family, and if their family is going to have a say in their health care and their partner isn't, that's simply not fair.
As several legal challenges make their way through the courts, there are calls for Ottawa to change the laws. The Liberal cabinet is split on the issue. The Minister of Justice defers to a government committee studying the matter.
We'll let the committee proceed with its work, and I look forward to see all those recommendations.
I'm calling on the government to stop wasting taxpayers' money in fighting a battle which they are destined to lose, at the Supreme Court of Canada.
A battle this couple symbolically chose Valentine's Day to join. Tom Murphy, CBC News, Halifax.
This was a big day for the crew of a Canadian Navy ship that spent 6 months in the Persian Gulf. The 299 people serving aboard HMCS Protecteur received special honors in Esquimalt. The commander of the Pacific Fleet gave each one of these armed forces personnel a medal in recognition of service in the U.S.-led war on terrorism. HMCS Protecteur was the coalition tanker in the Gulf, providing fuel to the rest of the coalition fleet. All from warm waters to cold ones, the frigid temperatures in Quebec are causing havoc on the St. Lawrence. In many cases, the only way for ships to get anywhere is with the help of icebreakers. The CBC's Ian Flett joined the crew of one of those ships, struggling with the busiest winter in years.
This ferry abandoned its trip just meters from the dock. A thick, soupy mix of ice and water was too much to get through. This trip normally takes 15 minutes. Successful crossings have taken up to 2 hours in the last few days. This ferry captain says he hasn't seen these conditions in a while. Environment Canada says average temperatures in this area over the last 5 years have been -9 degrees, much warmer than normal. The average for this month, -12. The very cold weather freezes huge sheets of ice every night, but with more than 13,000 horsepower and weighing 8,000 tons, the Coast Guard icebreaker Pierre Radisson simply glides through the mess.
We have to make sure going through that ice, then all the ice keep going down with the current.
Keeping the ice flowing is crucial. If ice builds up, it freezes together and creates jams, which are impassable to some boats and can cause flooding. Even though the Pierre Radisson has been out most mornings keeping the ice flowing, boats are still getting stuck. This has been the busiest winter for the Coast Guard here in 10 years. Last year at this time, they'd been called out 25 times. This year, so far, they've been called out 80 times. Ian Flett, CBC News, Quebec City.
I'm Todd Maffin. Still ahead on Canada Now. It's not the cheapest pen you've ever seen, but wait until you see what it can do with your computer. I'll explain in a moment.
Some hailed her as a scientific landmark. Others claimed Dolly the sheep represented the first step down a slippery moral slope. Now the first mammal cloned from an adult has died. Dolly was diagnosed with progressive lung disease, and after a veterinary exam, scientists decided to put her down. The sheep was born in 1996, but 3 years later, she started to show signs of poor health. In 2002, she was found to have arthritis. Her health conditions have been the subject of constant debate, many arguing that cloning results in flawed copies. Health reporter Maureen Taylor joins us now with more on what the death of Dolly might mean for the scientific community. And Maureen, is anyone surprised by Dolly's death?
Well, Ian, not most of the scientists who already clone animals. The ones I talked to today said they've noticed very similar abnormalities and health problems in their cloned animals. Although one scientist in Canada who's cloning cows claims that his cows are 1, 2 years old are fine. But those who clone mice and goats and pigs and other sheep have all said they've noticed a lot of health problems in their animals.
And what does the demise of Dolly tell us about human cloning?
Well, everyone is saying, if anything, this shows that we ought not to be going there. I mean, everyone says, yes, carry on with animal cloning, and maybe we can manipulate that a little bit to make it better, but we're far, far from understanding why these health problems and abnormalities develop, and no one would want to inflict that on a human. So there are more arguments here for putting the brakes on that kind of research. And everyone says that it was big news when it happened 6 years ago. Dolly certainly changed science in many, many ways.
Maureen Taylor, thank you.
Thanks, Ian.
Hi, Todd Maffin.
Hi, Ian.
You know, I have one of those Palm Pilots. It's in my briefcase, and it doesn't even work now because the battery has been exhausted. Because
Nice.
I'm a pen guy. I like, you know, pen and paper, but you have some high-tech suggestions even for pen people like me.
Yeah, and you know, I'm a pen person, even though I'm a geek myself. And we all kind of like that. If you go to a meeting, no one wants to get the laptop out, open it up, wait for it to boot. It probably crashes, launch the application just to take a couple of notes. People like pens. Well, Logitech's come out with a new one. It's actually not here in Canada yet. Look for it about April or May or so. It'll run you about $300 for a pen. It's pretty big, but take a look at the inside of this pen. It's actually quite complicated. It's full of microchips. Here's why. The secret is actually in the paper. What happens is this paper has a whole series of very, very fine fibers and little dots on the fibers. A series of grids, 6 by 6. The dots are slightly misaligned to each other. That way, the pen, little optical sensor, when you put it down on the paper, it knows exactly where on the paper that is. Let me give you an example of what it means with, say, a Post-it note, for instance. Again, this is a special Post-it note with this dot grid on it. So I'm going to write, "Hi, Ian," and a little happy face. You tick the done box at the bottom. Now the pen just went zzz, zzz, it kind of vibrated to confirm that that it's received that. Now you can get rid of the piece of paper. You just take the pen, put it in the docking cradle, and take a look at the screen here. The computer recognizes the pen, downloads the information. I say, yes, that was indeed a Post-it note. And up pops the computer Post-it note with everything I've written. Of course, mind you, if you really want to, you can write on a regular Post-it note and just do that to it. It'll still work just fine. But for people who like to have notebook paper, and mind you, this paper, because it's digital paper with these little dots on it, is not cheap. For a 3-pack, which is about 160 pages, it'll run you $25 US for 3 of these little notebooks. So it's pricey, but as you say, for people who don't like pens and papers, but don't like computers, but they still want to have their information digitally, it's a pretty good way of doing it.
Plus, it's just a cool thing to have, and imagine how big the pen protector would be with that.
Yeah, exactly.
Just before I let you go, let's talk about one high-tech thing that virtually everyone has, cell phones. What's new there?
Intel just releasing an announcement that they have figured out how to get the circuitry down to 1 microchip. Take a look at this. You can see how small it is there. And essentially, they've managed to get all of those 5 black chips down to 1 single chip. That means, of course, smaller phones, lighter phones, and these cell phone microchips could in the future be in everywhere. Door locks, so forth.
Smaller phones, bigger pens. The high-tech world is so fascinating.
It's very
Todd,
strange.
Talk to you next week.
Okay, bye, Ian.
Mr. Bean and more Mr. Bean, Air Farce, Red Green, The Sean Cullen Show, and Made in Canada, tonight on CBC Television.
Europe was creating a united front. Then along comes Iraq, and the Great Divides are back. A Joe Schlesinger documentary tonight on The National.
Tomorrow, the CBC will dedicate more than 15 hours of coverage to Canada's national game as we present the 4th annual Hockey Day in Canada. The show will be centered in Iqaluit that we just saw, where in spite of its unique challenges, the sport is stronger than ever. Alan Abel introduces us to a very different place that enjoys the same game.
Canada's far north is a long way from anywhere. But Canada's national passion is not dimmed by distance or isolation. Fly north across the soaring cliffs to Nunavut, and you'll find the same rituals, the same rhythms, the same game. In a little hamlet called Kimirut, there's a brand new arena brought here by cargo ship during the brief northern summer. But many kids skate outdoors, because to play indoors, you've got to have a helmet. And there's nowhere to buy a hockey helmet in Kimirut.
Young hockey players in Kimirut need more equipment. We have no actual supplier. We have not insufficient funding right now. And the kids are using second-hand equipment.
In Cape Dorset, famous for Inuit art, many boys sell carvings so they can buy hockey gear.
Helmet, hockey sticks, skates, pants. That's about it.
While in Qikiqtarjuaq, they love being on the ice or under it. This is the panorama of Arctic hockey. Inuit faces echoing Canadian dream.
That was Alan Abel. Ron MacLean joins us now from a place you might not expect, Iqaluit. And Ron, as we saw in Alan's excerpt there, hockey is pretty well the same anywhere you go in Canada. But from a broadcaster standpoint, how's it been up north?
Well, just a tremendous reception. I thought, Ian, with Her Majesty Queen Elizabeth having been through last fall, and Kevin Spacey was up here researching a new movie he's going to do, and now Don Cherry, but they're so excited. Hockey really is king. This is the new arena, one of two they have in the capital city of Nunavut. And Ken Dryden's here, Wendell Clark, Steve Larmer, Mike Gardner, Paul Harrison, all former NHLers. And Dryden spoke at one of the schools this morning and was actually crying. That's how emotional the scene has been with the youngsters. They're really skilled, the players that we've seen, and their love affair with the game is unparalleled.
We have about half a minute. Ron, tell us briefly what we can expect to see on the television tomorrow.
Well, we're on the air from Iqaluit, of course, but also 6 other Canadian hub cities, and then 30 towns and cities around the country is where we're filing stories that celebrate the grassroots. My favorite's about a 51-year coach in Smiths Falls, Ontario, but the most spectacular is from Plaster Rock, New Brunswick, where they have the World Pond Hockey Championship. So a lot of color. If you're a rink rat, tomorrow from noon Eastern on for 15.5 hours, you got to be here.
Ron MacLean, thanks a lot.
Cheers, Ian.
Well, much more news to come here on Canada Now as our focus shifts to British Columbia. Hundreds of people took to the streets of Vancouver's downtown east side this afternoon. The annual Valentine's March is to remember women murdered or missing from the area. As Rosa Marcatelli reports, it was an emotional day for family and friends.
A single red rose to mark where Val Hughes' sister used to live. 38-year-old Carrie Koski went missing from the streets of Vancouver's downtown east side 5 years ago.
Carrie was down here a very, very short period of time before she was taken. She didn't have a chance to become streetwise or anything else.
There are many stories like that here. Sandra Gagnon's sister is also on the missing list.
It's not very easy, it's painful. But I always do this for my sister, do everything for my sister and keep her memories alive.
This is my daughter. I had her when I was first got clean and sober. Yes, I remember you.
Maggie Giesla has lost more than most. She spent 15 years on these streets before getting clean.
I have 36 friends that are on the missing women's list, and I'm here to remember them and to say a bit about who they were.
For these women, Valentine's Day has become a day of remembrance. This year's march is dedicated to the women Robert William Pickton is accused of killing and the many others who are still missing.
There were only about a dozen people at the first memorial march 12 years ago. Police believe that 500 people showed up for this one. That's likely due to the publicity over the Pickton case.
At the Pickton farm in Port Coquitlam, work continues. An army of investigators has transformed the property, trying to dig up more clues. Pickton is charged in 15 of the deaths. DNA of 4 more women have been found here, but so far, no charges. Val Hughes is grateful for the efforts of investigators, but remembers a time she struggled to get police to listen.
There's still so many battles to fight. There has been a small amount of increased public awareness, but so much more has to come.
In fact, some family members of the missing women plan to take their message across Canada. They'll begin on the East Coast in June. Rosa Marcatelli, CBC News, Vancouver.
A man accused of dangerous driving causing death was denied bail in a Surrey courtroom today. Paul Wetlaufer is charged in connection with the hit-and-run death of 13-year-old Carly Regan. It was a decision that prompted strong opinions on both sides. Kara Wiest reports.
Lately, smiling hasn't been easy for Barry Regan, but today it's hard for him to hold back.
This is good. It's couldn't have happened on a better day. That's Carly's favorite day, Valentine's Day, and I think she was up there looking at us and just going like this. I'm I'm happy. I'm really happy.
On January 6th, Regan's 13-year-old daughter Carly was struck and killed while rollerblading on this narrow stretch of road in Aldergrove. Her 11-year-old sister Jessica and a friend rode their bikes alongside. All three were hit, but Carly died at the scene and the driver never stopped.
Please come forward. I have to have closure on this.
Fewer than 24 hours later, 38-year-old Paul Wetlaufer turned himself into police. He pleaded guilty to 3 counts of hit and run and 1 count of driving while prohibited. He did not plead guilty to the charge of criminal negligence causing death. He's been in custody awaiting trial ever since. Today, a judge refused to release him on bail, a move his lawyer calls inhumane.
He's in 23-hour lockdown. No, he's not being given any television privileges. He's not being given any privileges for reading material or radio. So it's pretty disgusting that we got a province that treats people that way.
Russ Chamberlain says his client is an alcoholic who needs help, not punishment.
And I'll tell you this much, someday he's going to be released, and someday if we don't assist him in getting retreated, he's going to become a risk again to society.
But the Regan family is more worried about the present.
When I heard that he wasn't going anywhere, that's great. And at least we know that your families and anybody else's families, they're fine on the road, you know, one less person that doesn't belong there.
The trial is currently scheduled for the end of April. Kara Weist, CBC News.
It appears the Delta Hospital has been saved, thanks in part to the generous donations collected by the Save the Delta Hospital Foundation. The foundation pledged $5 million to the Fraser Health Authority. In return, the Health Authority agreed to expand operations and keep the emergency room open 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. The Health Authority says without these donations, the hospital would not have been able to provide the facilities to give the appropriate level of care. Genetic testing for hereditary breast and ovarian cancer is set to resume in British Columbia. The tests were suspended 18 months ago after fears of potential lawsuits. The province may still face legal action, but as our health reporter Mike Henniger reports, the province believes it is worth the risk.
We believe that the benefit to women in British Columbia to have access to this test outweighs the vulnerability that we potentially could have if we were to lose a court case in a Canadian court.
The health minister reversing the government's decision to stop funding a controversial DNA test for breast and ovarian cancer. The test is for people with a strong family history of cancer. It looks for mutations in certain genes. Genes an American company called Myriad has patented. Up until a year and a half ago, the BC Cancer Agency did those tests and the provincial government paid for it. But Myriad threatened court action if the tests weren't done in the U.S. at triple the cost. The newly elected Campbell government immediately shut down the program. Other provinces, led by Ontario, continued the testing. So far, there haven't been any court challenges, and now the province says it's willing to resume tests here.
Our opinion is that the patent that Myriad Technologies has would not necessarily stand up in court, although it is a gray area.
The government's fear of prosecution cost Karen Cowan a lot of money. Her mother had died of breast cancer, and her sister tested positive for it too. She ended up having to pay Myriad to find out her fate.
My daughters are very young, and so I knew that there were options for surgery that could increase my chances of survival if I did in fact have the gene, and so it seemed something that I needed to get information about right away.
The BC Cancer Agency struggled for months to get the Campbell government to change its mind.
I think that the fact that this test was available to other families in our neighboring provinces provided by those governments was one of the most compelling arguments.
The province is now calling on the federal government to give it protection from prosecution by Myriad, asking for legislation that clarifies how patents are applied to human genes. Mike Henniger, CBC News, Vancouver.
Now, the most fun I'll have this hour. We're going to take a look at the weather around the province and what we can expect for the next 3 days. In Kamloops, showers, even a chance of snow on Monday, highs to 7 degrees. In Cranbrook, a chance of showers and flurries with highs to 4. In Prince George, snow for tomorrow and then flurries through Monday, highs of -2. In Prince George, you can expect 3 days of showers, highs of 8 degrees. And in Fort Nelson, a chance of flurries, more cold temperatures, highs tomorrow to -14. Maybe I'm reading too fast. In Victoria now, periods of rain easing to showers by Monday and highs to 10 degrees. And here in Vancouver, rain, unfortunately, developing over the next few days and highs to 9 degrees.
Still ahead, Granville after dark.
People having a good time, people having a rotten time.
An intimate look at the street and its people.
For my dry, itchy skin, I've often wanted to try Gold Bond Body Lotion. Now with new Gold Bond fragrance-free lotion, I can. Made with colloidal oatmeal, it moisturizes, soothes, and relieves my dry, itchy skin.
New fragrance-free Gold Bond Body Lotion with colloidal oatmeal.
It's lunchtime.
Really hungry? Try Tim Hortons' new Big Baguette sandwiches, made with oven-fresh French-style baguette bread. Enjoy any of our Big Baguette sandwiches with a donut and a medium coffee from just $5.59. Come home for lunch at Tim Hortons.
From judge to jury, a unique look inside a Canadian courtroom.
There must be public access to the courts.
It's going to be like sports television.
Watch TV on Trial, a Canada Now special on CBC News World.
See you, Bill.
If you're gonna play a game, play Keno.
Ma questa macchina è troppo piccola, dove metti I bagagli?
Sorry, baby. Have to leave it.
Man has always struggled with speed versus space.
Think that thing's big enough?
Until now.
Thank you very much.
The new Infiniti FX45. 315 horsepower, all-wheel drive, and utility when you need it.
One week from tomorrow, people in the city will be voting on whether they support Vancouver's bid for the 2010 Olympics. So far, most of the Olympic attention has been focused on sport, but arts and culture are an important part of the bid as well. Sudha Krishna kicks off our arts coverage tonight with that story.
You couldn't get a better ad for Vancouver's Olympic bid. A fresh face, fun, face painting, and the flag. It's called Celebration 2010, part arts and culture festival and part promo campaign for the 2010 bid, now with the focus on Olympic arts and culture.
If we were to secure the Games in July, then I think there'll be a cultural explosion over the coming decade.
Duncan Lowe is the director of the Vancouver East Cultural Centre. He says if Vancouver gets the Olympics, there will be more money and exposure for the arts.
The important thing, the really important thing for us is not up to 2010, but also what's there in 2011. And we believe that the arts and cultural sector will be strengthened through the Olympics coming to our city. And that's why we're here today.
The bid committee says it will spend $100 million on the arts. That includes the opening and closing ceremonies and an Olympic cultural festival.
Many people don't know that the Olympic movement is based on three pillars: sport, culture, and the environment.
Burke Taylor is in charge of the arts and culture component of the 2010 bid.
I was responsible for the performing arts program at the Olympic Arts Festival in Calgary during the Calgary Olympic Games in '88. And it had such a huge positive impact on the arts and cultural community and on the audiences in Calgary at that time. We just wanted to have that same kind of opportunity for the arts and creative sector here in Vancouver.
What about the argument that, Olympics cost a lot of money and that this is money that can go directly to the arts? community?
Well, in fact, all of the monies that are spent on the cultural programs and the operations of the Olympic Games come from the revenues generated by the Olympic Games. So this is actually money that would not be otherwise available to the cultural community or for any other purpose.
Whether you're an Olympic supporter or not, Celebration 2010 is offering lots of free stuff to do this weekend here on Granville Island. In addition, it's traveling across the province. Over the next 3 weeks, it'll be in over 40 communities with over 400 events. And besides that, there's lots of other stuff to do this weekend. It's all on tonight's Arts Reel.
There's no place I'd rather be.
Hey man, they're gonna run my pictures in Time.
Than right here.
Time magazine.
In 1953.
A photojournalist follows a young Chet Baker as the jazz musician gets ready to practice his signature piece. Chet Baker burst onto the music scene in the 1950s. Talented, good-looking, but a junkie. Baker magnetized the jazz world with his stylings. Danny DePoe, a Toronto-based musician, captures Baker's sound and spirit in this production. It's called Time After Time, the Chet Baker Project. It's on at the Vancouver East Cultural Centre tonight and tomorrow.
Let's get lost, lost in each other's arms. Let's get lost, let them send out alarms. And though they'll think us rather rude, let's tell the world we're in that crazy mood.
Suddenly, Seymour, you're standing beside me.
The Little Shop of Horrors screams into Vancouver. A flower shop worker gets more than he bargained for in this wacky musical based on the 1960 film cult classic by Roger Corman.
Is here to provide me with sweet understanding. Seymour's my friend.
The Little Shop of Horrors runs at the Arts Club Theatre until March 22nd.
Little shop of horrors, bop, shabop, little shop of terrors.
A few weeks ago, the Granville Mall hit the headlines. 6 Vancouver police officers are under investigation for allegedly detaining people, taking them to Stanley Park and beating those people up. The story got us wondering, what is nightlife like along the Granville Entertainment Strip? Here's a slice of that life and a look at what happens on the mall after dark.
My name is Glenn Orr, and I'm one of the local street musicians, and this is what I do for a full-time living. I figured this was like New York. If you can make it on this street and make money, you can make it anywhere. But this street certainly has its problems. It's really simple. Get rid of the drugs and help the homeless instead of trying to turn your heads to the issue, because it seems like a lot of people in the city do just turn their heads and walk the other way, which is pretty sad, actually.
My name is Dara Rizzi.
So you're outside always in this spot?
From 10 p.m. till 3 a.m. in the morning, till the clubs come out. I get every kind of person you can imagine. Senior citizens, I give them a break. Students, I give them a break on the price. Sometimes it's good business, sometimes it's not. I see everything. Drunks, fighting, nice people, people having a good time, people having a rotten time, criminals picking people's pockets, you know. people who take advantage of people.
Oh, my name is Anthony Baker. Well, I come down on Granville Street and I don't find anything scary about here. It's just, you know, there's some people that are street people, but there's nothing scary in my eyes about it. I think Granville actually reflects life, like what really goes on in society, what actually goes on in the minds of people, and not just the people that are on the street, but the people that use these places, like these XXX and whatnot. I don't think there's anything wrong with Granville Street. I think it's a great street.
My real name is Mohammed Haidar Rutsari, but they call me Mike. Sometimes the hungry people, hungry kids, they need a few dollars, we help them out, you know, because they have no money. And we always try to watch them not to break into cars. Sometimes they come from jail out to me, they'll, Mike, please give us some money and so on. But whatever I can help, I help. But I don't really make money in this restaurant.
Oh, Midnight Magic, I'm Larry there, or Electric Larry. I don't care if it rains or freezes, long as I got my plastic Jesus sitting on the dashboard of my car.
That's what we call that beef smoky.
Good morning, I'm Bear. We're constantly having to clear off people selling or using drugs, constantly. Mostly I stay inside the shop and I come out and have a cigarette. And yeah, we'll usually see people in the doorway over here smoking crack and not much else.
Granville Street at the night is heart of business for cab drivers. Few police officers, they bug us, but most of them cooperate with us.
So I just make a turn that I can.
Need a signature. The nights I'm working, here you go. Are you guys still coming? One of you guys can't come in.
Oh, that's enough, man.
Okay, dear. My name's Ellen Shonsta. I'm better known as Mum. I'm Mum in the West End to all the street people. Every day I cook and organize things and shop and load up my scooter and my trailer, and I come outside with 8 to 12 gallons of hot food and about 500 to 700 sandwiches every night and vitamins.
How's it going, Mom?
Good. How are you? Good. Did you bring me a hug? It is such a blessing to be able to go up to someone and say, can I help you? Are you hungry? And have them turn and just be so grateful that just for getting something to eat. And, you know, I have no money. I'm on welfare, but it's just, I'm probably the richest woman in town. I get more hugs than anybody else that I know.
My name is Doc, and I'm the Spoon Man. I see a lot of people that need help, especially kids. And I'm a real soft heart for kids, so a lot of the change I make when I play my spoons, I make sure kids get food to eat. Even though I live on the street, I wake up every day positive, and my goal is to spread as much smiles as I can during the day. Because a smile changes your attitude, your day, and your whole outlook on that day. And so maybe you can have a better day. And that's what the Doc's all about, man.
Mr. Bean and more Mr. Bean, Air Farce, Red Green, The Sean Cullen Show, and Made in Canada, tonight on CBC Television.
Interference. Reserve.
If you're gonna play a game, play Keno at your local pub or lotto store.
Somebody help me, yeah. Somebody help me now. Won't somebody tell me what I've done wrong? Somebody help me, yeah. Somebody help me now. Won't somebody tell me what I've done?
Quick, where can you buy this kind of furniture at the very best price? Okay, Josh.
At United Furniture Warehouse.
All together?
United Furniture Warehouse. Boom, boom.
Founding sponsor of Welcome Home, changing lives.
Of all the minivans available today, only one comes with the government's highest safety rating, a starting price of under $25,000, and the best warranty in the business. The Kia Sedona. Pretty impactful, isn't it? Test drive it yourself, just to be safe.
Where does your mom and dad save money on furniture and mattresses? Ava.
United Furniture Warehouse. Mattresses too.
Founding sponsor of Welcome Home, changing lives.
We are 1 hour and 9 minutes away from At the End on CBC News World, which is why Steve Burgess is standing next to me. Hi, Steve.
Hi there. I love that idea of the countdown. There's the big clock somewhere.
It was a terrific show last week. If people haven't seen it, they ought to tune in.
Yeah.
And who's going to be on the show tonight?
Guy by the name of Sven Robinson. You may have heard of him. And people who read the Savage Love column, I think a lot of them think it's the funniest advice column in North America. Dan Savage is the author of that. He's going to be on the show. Author Nancy Lee, and also communications consultant Aaron Ayrton will be on the show.
And besides the question of whether or not your shirt goes with your jacket, what other issues will you be tackling?
Ian, we've ignored your suggestion to talk about Are You Hot, the program that aired last night. Instead, we will be talking about the peace movement and whether these people are dupes of Saddam Hussein, not to mention the UN. And also common law parents, they have to pay child support according to a new law that has been upheld by the Manitoba Court of Appeals. And we're going to talk about that. Also, I will attempt to hide my bitterness on this Valentine's Day, and we will discuss some love topics such as fidelity. Is it the most important issue in a relationship? I'm not one to talk, but...
Well, really? Well, that's interesting. Yeah. So for people who haven't seen the show, you never really know till it gets started what the dynamic's going to be like. Have you met these guests, talked to them in the dressing room? Do things feel pretty good for tonight?
Well, I'll tell you what, we've had Dan Savage on the show a couple of times before. We've had Sven Robbins on the show. These people are great guests. They're great talkers. They're provocative. One thing about Dan Savage, if you're not familiar with his column and if you haven't seen him on television, you just never know what position he's going to take. He's an absolutely great, a very controversial, very funny guy, and well-spoken too. Always great to have him on the show.
Well, as I said, it was a smoking show last weekend, and I'm sure it'll be good tonight. Steve Burgess At the End, 8 o'clock tonight on CBC News World.
Thanks, Ian.
Let's take a moment to recap some of the stories at the top of the news tonight. The report is in. The chief UN inspector, Hans Blix, has told the Security Council no weapons of mass destruction have been found in Iraq. But he says many weapons that Iraq used to have are missing. U.S. Secretary of State Colin Powell says more inspections are not the answer. Powell says the UN is almost at the point where it's going to have to consider military action against Iraq. There were demonstrations in several parts of the world today as people protested against a possible U.S.-led war on Iraq. Thousands marched through downtown Tokyo, while about 150,000 people packed the streets in Melbourne with a similar message. More protests are planned in European capitals, and the Vancouver Peace Rally gets underway tomorrow at 1 o'clock at Canada Place. It was a day to remember lost loved ones in Vancouver's downtown east side. Several hundred people took part in a memorial march for the more than 60 women who have vanished from the area. Port Coquitlam pig farmer Robert Picton is accused of murdering 15 women on the list of the missing. 'Tis the day of chocolates, cards, flowers. The traditions of Valentine's can almost feel like an obligation. But if this red and romantic day has you feeling a little blue, you can have a look at our next piece. Deborah Goebel brings us a Valentine's poem.
In the evening, when I can find comfort in your arms once again, I love you.
There's the schmaltzy poetry.
I've been known to be romantic.
And the literary prose.
How do I love thee? Let me count the ways. I love thee to the depth and breadth and height.
The timeless tune, Rose.
A dozen red roses. Yeah, that's still the one.
Some say it's kind of sucky.
It's a Hallmark day.
But work it right and you might get lucky.
It feels good when somebody's like, when your girlfriend's happy about what you're doing to her, right?
Of course, the cost can be a little rough.
That'd be $123.66 bucks.
But sometimes Cupid knows his stuff.
It'll be 60 years in June.
Love, it comes in many guises.
I'll love you forever. I'll like you for always. As long as I'm living, my baby, you'll be.
Love, it brings a few surprises.
She's in a rest home. So, well, that's good. I go and see her every day.
But on this Valentine's, perhaps we should put our cynicism away.
And I think it's very important in our world today to show love and show caring.
And concentrate, instead, on the sweetness of this day.
I love you more.
Bought a coat.
And you? And we're now going to the fish and chip shop for our halibut and chips.
Unfortunately, I'm going to celebrate it right here for the next 24 hours. It's my anniversary today, and Heidi, I love you, and we'll see you in the morning.
Maybe just go out for a nice supper and stay home.
Well, I got a box of a heart of chocolates full of the different chocolates. She's a big chocolate fan, so I didn't say that.
We're just staying in and watching some romantic DVDs.
I'm going home and making the wife dinner. We're doing some crab and then maybe go see a show or something.
I don't plan anything special except going for a long drive all by myself.
Such a sad way to end on this Valentine's Day. I hope you have a good Friday evening and a great weekend as well. And keep in mind, Monday, a big news day. We have federal and provincial budgets coming up on Tuesday. So on Canada Now, at the beginning of the week, we'll preview what's expected from our political experts in Ottawa and our Legislative Bureau Chief in Victoria, Justine Hunter. One other promo, if I may. We have a special Canada Now program on News World on Tuesday. It's called TV on Trial. And we will be looking at the issue of whether cameras should be in the courtroom. I'll tell you a little bit more about that on Monday. I'm Ian Hannah-Mansing on behalf of Gloria Makarenko. See you then.
Now's a good time to get a moonroof at no extra charge when you buy our